Hello, welcome back. In the last video, we have created this URL mode recording script, and this URL mode recording, we have all these APIs that we are calling. Let's run this script. Okay, and now looks like the script is running. Okay, great. So now the script is finished and is saying that script is passed, and you can see the test result by clicking on this link. So this is the result window, and you can exactly see what is the action summaries. Like whenever we run this web URL module, the result is something like this. So this is where you can see in the GUI mode the page. So this page looks good, right? And similarly, like if you go to login, so this looks like the login page, and so this is correct, not a problem. And then when you submit data, you know you go to you logged in, and as you see that you are logged in as teacher1, and then you browse to the test course, and here you are trying to log out. But look at this logout. Like whenever you log out, you do not see this kind of thing that you are logged in as teacher1. Like say for example, this is the browser, and let if I do log out, then I'm going to see something, you are not logged in. However, whenever we run the script, we are not really seeing same behavior whatever we are seeing on the browser. On the browser, it logged out, it says that you are not logged in anymore. However, in the test run, we are seeing something, and he says, do you want to really log out? So that means this logout operation didn't succeed. The user is logged in. All right, so what is going wrong? So let's try to analyze what is going wrong. To make my things a little bit of easier, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this unnecessary calls. Like these are the basically these are the CSS calls and all those things, right? So I don't really need this thing. Okay, so for a temporarily, let's remove this all this web. Okay, so what I did, I just clean up those image file, CSS file and JavaScript files, and so that I can analyze the script a little bit better. So here we went to the index page, and here we log in, here we submit data on that form, and then we move to the test course, and we are logging out. And when we are logging out, if you look at the parameter, that parameter is URL is equal to something like this, and then there is something says key equal to some random string. So what does it mean? So this is how Moodle works. So this is your say login, so this is your user ID, and this is the password, and let's say this is the server. So this is the server, and the moment you use a submit button, the user is going to validate it, and then the server is going to return a key, and that key is called session key. Okay, and in future the server is going to recognize this client by this session key, and this session key is randomly generated string, and that string does look like something similar to whatever we are seeing here. All right, so if that is the case, let's say I log in first time while recording. So while recording, when I log in, I got a session key, and let's say that session key is 123. When I replay the script, I'm going to log in again. So therefore I'm going to get a session key that is something not 123. Let's say that is 341. So that means whenever during the replaying, I'm creating a new session, and whatever session ID, that session ID I must pass in logout, otherwise it's not going to log you out. Okay, so that is the reason why logout is failing here. Okay, so because we are not passing the right session key. Okay, and this session key was generated during the record time. So this is the problem. What is the solution? So let's take a look at the solution here. So let's try to log in, say. So now it's so by clicking on that login, what happened? The client sent the browser the user ID and password, and the browser validated that this is the right user ID and password, and therefore it says that okay, you are allowed, and I am going to give you a session key, and that session key is returned to the client. How do you see that session key? You just click on get the page source and search for something called session. Okay, so this is the session key, and the session key now is something else. Okay, so this is the session key that got generated for this session. Alright, so that means the session key is available just after we do the web submit. So basically after submitting the data, you are getting the whatever response you are getting. If you look for that response, and then you can do some sort of pattern matching, so that you'll ignore this part and you'll ignore this part, then whatever remaining, that is what is your session key. So if you get that session, basically if you parse this HTML file and figure out what is the session key and put that session key into a variable and use that variable here. Okay, so instead of this constant value whatever you are giving, you use the parameter or variable whatever you got at this step. Okay, so essentially what you did, you correlate. Okay, so essentially you correlate the value and use that value, and this is in load runner called correlation. All right, and to do correlation, what you can do yourself, like programmatically. Also load runner gives an automated way to do that. Just click on the design studio and see what's going on. You'll see something called correlation studio. VUGen recognizes that this value is dynamic and that can be correlated. Alright, and if you click on this, so this is found in step number 54. So if you go to step number 54, so this is what the value, and what load runner is saying, that looking at the logs that it got, it realized that it can find a correlation for this. Okay, and the moment you hit correlate, is doing something for you, and let's see what it did for you. So this is what it did. Before web submit data, it call an API, and that API name is web res save parameter ex, and in that we have a parameter name correlation parameter. This you can give xyz abc whatever. Then it gives you two more value. One is called left bound, another is called right bound. In left bound, what is going to see is going to look at this HTML file and looks for the left bound, that is this much, and right bound this much. So basically wherever it found a left and right, whatever the value that contain in between the left bound and right bound, that will be taken and kept on a parameter, and that parameter name is correlation parameter. Okay, and this this slash are given just to escape that double quote. What load runner did, load runner register a parameter, and that parameter name is correlation parameter, and at this time at line number 31, the parameter is nothing is there in the parameter. However, when it will call the web submit data, and the moment it goes to the execution control goes to line number 52, then what happened is that this correlation parameter has been substituted by actual value. And what is that actual value? That actual value is this much. Okay, and then what's going to happen, this correlation parameter is going to be used, like remember that see, like that the dynamic value is no more. Instead of that, we are putting a parameter here, and this parameter has already, like whatever value that we got from the server after we submit the data, that value will be here. So let's run the script and see what's going on. Okay, so the script is passed, and let's see the test result and see. So now is saying that you are no more logged in. Okay, so this is what we're supposed to see. So this is the behavior we are expecting in the first place. So this is what you learn is correlation, and this is just a trailer. I'm going to show you the full chapter down the line on correlation, how correlation is going to be extremely helpful to take care of these dynamic values that servers used to send. Okay, and we will capture those values and we'll use those values at some later point of time, exactly the way that we did here. So this is what all about correlation, and the problem that we saw can be resolved by correlation.